supply chain ecosystem is constantly evolving, driven by the never-ending need for next-gen innovation. And here at Abrao Group, a leading provider of end-to-end logistics solutions across 10 business verticals, we intend to witness this transformation for ourselves. So join us as we delve into the company's dynamic journey towards becoming one of the world's leading and most influential logistics conglomerates.
Abrao Group boasts of a rich legacy with its origins dating back to 1936. It first began as an inland water transportation venture catering to the needs of Kerala's valued spices, cashew and coir industry. We caught up with its managing director, Lenny Abrao, to learn more.
Abrao Group is a logistics player with a 90-year legacy in the business, right? Walk me through some of the most major milestones in this growth story, sir.
I would say the very beginning, when we started off as a water transport company.
Right.
So Abrao Group traces its origins to 1936.
Phenomenal.
When my late grandfather, B. Paul Abrao, started transporting coir, spices, cashews on the inland waterways of Kerala.
Right.
And this led to more and more services being added, one of which was stevedoring and cargo handling. We brought our own infrastructure to handle in minor ports of Kerala like Kollam, in Alapi, in further north in Bepur,
Sure.
and even in Karnataka in Mangalore,
Right.
and all the way down south to Vizhinjam. So we had our own infrastructure. One of the innovations that my grandfather did those days was to have a series of small country crafts be towed by a motorboat. And that brought in a lot of efficiency. Cost-wise also, it brought in an element of competitiveness.
Right.
The very first container that landed in India in 1973 came to Cochin. And we were fortunate as the stevedores of American President Lines to be a part of this historic moment. And as you can imagine, in 1973,
Right.
the infrastructure that was available
Right.
was practically not there.
I can imagine.
Yes. So it called for a lot of innovation, called for a lot of quick thinking. And this also helped us to start looking into the future. So my father developed a stevedoring business, and we just not really handle containers, which we started doing subsequently,
Sure.
but we used to handle multiple cargoes like cement, coal, all kinds of break bulk cargo. But that focus on containers somehow was planted as a seed.
What a phenomenal story. And as a tribute, to your forefathers, and you've brought us to modern day Abrao Group. Walk us through how the innovations within the four walls of the organization have helped you cement a competitive edge when it comes to you vis-a-vis your peers.
So for us, innovation meant that we provided more services, right? So we kept looking at what are the services we can add, what are the areas we can venture into. And one of the things that we very strongly realized was that as far as possible to be involved in the actual carriage of goods.
Right.
And this led us to look at liner agency as a business area.
Sure.
While this may not be an innovation by itself, it also meant that we were bringing in that capability.
And
to
you were
have-
no longer an intermediary.
Yes. And this today has led us to being agents for multiple lines.
Right.
And we today offer services practically across the globe as sea carriage from India to many parts of the globe. And this is something which we are very proud of, the fact that today we either carry it on our own ship, which is Abrao Cochin, or on our principal ships.
Sure.
We carry the customer's cargo either in our own containers,
Right.
which is under the brand name of Blue Water Lines, or Blue Water Lines today also have access to other feeder services. So this is another area which we ventured into.
Right.
So we have a feeder agency where we not only provide slots for Blue Water, but we
Sure.
also sell to third parties.
Absolutely. And Lenny, you're far from getting left out. In fact, I think you very clearly outlined how the group is capitalizing on so many of the opportunities. But if I were to ask you, how does the Abrao Group go about navigating crises, navigating supply chain disruptions? What might you say?
Supply chain disruptions are not something new to us. In fact, I like to joke that every day is a new day in logistics.
Right.
So when we come to the office, we don't know what's
Sure.
what's going to happen. So this is something which we have always dealing with,
And prepared
therefore we are familiar, like you said. But yes, the scale of disruptions can be different.
Sure.
Like COVID was a huge disruptor. We didn't know what was coming next. But we learned a lot. And it also helped us to be able to be more agile, to be able to be quicker.
Sure.
And one of the learnings was that we had to be available to the customer from wherever we were.
Right.
Right? So we had work from home. So the first thing we did was we removed all the PCs and converted them to laptops. We were lucky to be able to get that many laptops available. I don't know whether you were aware at that time, supply chain disruption also meant that PCs and laptops were not
Sure.
available.
Came to a grinding halt, in fact.
Yes.
Yes.
But we were lucky, and that meant that we were available to our customers. And I think that has also taught us one very important thing, to be available to our customers.
Sure.
If you are available to your customers, I think that is a big differentiator, right? And that's something we focus on, the customer.
All right. Well, sir, my understanding is that the Abrao Group also has its eyes on a series of sunrise sectors. Help me understand what they are and how you cater to their ever-evolving needs.
Today, what we are looking at is one, looking at sectors like specialty chemicals, agrochemicals. This is primarily for our ISO tank business,
Sure.
where we represent a Dutch company called Royal Den Hartog. We are also looking at textiles, which the government today has recently announced that by 2030, the volume would be tripled to 9 lakh crores.
Right.
And today we have the capability to provide it is at the destination we can provide warehousing and distribution,
Sure.
which is typically how garments are moved.
Absolutely.
So this is something which we have.
And it makes you an end-to-end logistics solutions provider,
Yes.
right?
And we also are constantly looking to see how we can be in areas which are evolving. So we always see whether we are able to open up new locations for our principals. At the same time, we are also looking at how we can be in those areas. So these are some of the ways in which we see how we can be a part of the sunrise sectors.
Absolutely.
And also be a prominent player in the logistics landscape, so we don't get left out.
Well, sir, I think that's phenomenal, given that the supply chain and the logistics industry isn't traditionally considered to be one of the first ones to embrace technology.
Yes, you're very right.
So I applaud you for that. And now, if I were to talk sustainability, for a moment, and if I were to talk future outlook of the company, right? Both very different aspects, but sustainability is now taking center stage. And yet, it's an unprecedented time in human history, given the geopolitical volatility that surrounds us, right? That said, how are you eyeing expansion going forward? What's your expansion strategy, and where does sustainability ultimately fit in?
Sustainability means two things. One is, will your business be relevant?
Right.
10 years down the line, would this business model work?
Right.
Will it sustain? So which is where I take you back to what I said earlier, to be actually involved in the sea carriage. Because as long as goods need to be moved from
Right.
point A to point B,
Right.
they need somebody to carry it.
Right.
And we want to be that, either representing a shipping line or doing it on our own. In terms of sustainability, in terms of practices, today we have an ESG committee. We have an outside consultant that monitors, and we have just got into a study, and we are in the process of taking a lot of important steps Some of the things we have already done. In fact, for example, in Cochin, 70% of our power is from solar.
Phenomenal.
So we have a solar plant in Cochin. So likewise, we are seeing where else we can do it. This office where we are
Right.
is an LED A, Platinum A grade building. So there is already a lot of measures in place. But apart from that, we are seeing how every employee can be a part of this initiative.
Right.
And today for us, ESG is not just a buzzword. It is something that is critical for us as a logistics player.
Sure.
Because many of the customers today also ask, sir, how are you on ESG?
Right.
And I can say with some confidence that we are very much there. We are able to give a report to say that yes, today we are in a position to monitor our carbon footprint. We are able to see how we can reduce our wastage.
You're absolutely right, Lenny. Customers increasingly care to do business with companies whose values resonate with their own. And by way of closing comments, if you could give us a sneak preview into the future in terms of growth outlook for the brand, how are you eyeing expansion? What's in store?
So, taking on the thing about doing the actual ocean carriage.
Right.
So, key focus for us will be to increase our ship fleet. So,
Sure.
that's one sure area where we want to grow.
Right.
Look at acquiring another ship.
Right.
We are also looking at geographical expansion into new areas. So, we are looking at places like Africa,
Right.
which is a high growth area. In terms of India, we are certainly looking at clusters. So the government is very clear that they want to develop what is known as multimodal logistics parks.
Right.
Essentially, these are industrial clusters which will also have all sorts of logistics facilities available in the same area. And we are basically not getting into the general warehousing, but we are seeing how we can get into the specialized warehousing with more technology in place. And I keep saying technology. So technology development, process mapping, process development are all part of how we will manage our expansion.
Well, Lenny, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, and we certainly look forward to discovering what the Abrao Group does next.
Thank you.
Following our conversation with Managing Director Lenny Abrao, we had the opportunity to catch up with key members of the management team, each bringing their expertise across the logistics solutions ecosystem to share their insights on Abrao Group's USP.
In Abrao Group, we are very consistent and aligned to our core values. And it ensures all our partners, all our stakeholders, all our people and all our customers are connected to us way more than just our product and services, because it ensures and gives a sense of authenticity and belonging. And every customer, he appreciates and supports a company which is very consistently aligned with his values.
The uncertainties is nothing new for Abrao Group, and it is as early as 2007-8 when we had the Lehman Brothers. It's at that stage when the global supply chain disruptions evolved. Abrao Group took a very definitive view that digitalization with a human touch is going to be a success mantra. This is very clearly going to be the way forward. And as a result of that, we have ensured that we build an able IT structure or infrastructure, so to speak.
Generally, globally, ship finance is categorized under asset financing, which means the loan is provided against ship as a primary collateral. However, in India, generally ship finance is categorized under balance sheet financing, which means rather than treating the ship as a primary collateral, the loan is rather given against cash and other physical collaterals which needs to be provided by the company and its promoters. This severely restricts the capability of the entity to acquire more ships vis-a-vis like a foreign owner is concerned, and has led to drastic fall in Indian ownership of shipping tonnage.
It's time for a short break, but our special feature, Abrao Group presents Pioneering Future-Proof Logistics Solutions, continues on the other side. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our special feature, Abrao Group presents Pioneering Future-Proof Logistics Solutions. As a logistics trailblazer, Abrao Group is leveraging technology to level the playing field with respect to supply chain performance and productivity. And we caught up with the group's Director of IT, Clarence Xavier, at its Mumbai-based headquarters to learn more. Clarence, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us. And given the depth and the breadth of the Abrao Group product portfolio, walk us through some use cases in which technology has been a source of a competitive advantage, if not an enabler.
In the Abrao Group, we always look at how best we can leverage technology, not just for our customers, but even for our partners, as well as for our own internal staff and colleagues.
Sure.
So for our customers, what I wanted to look at and talk about is the electronic BL. Now, this is not just a PDF version of a BL, and that's nothing big in that. But an electronic BL is something where from the time it gets generated by us representing a shipping line,
Right.
till the time the consignee at the destination is able to collect their goods
Right.
and their container, everything is online. There is nothing by way of email, there's nothing by way of paper. So that is something that we introduced back in 2021, and we were one of the first NVOCC lines here in India to introduce that technology.
Fabulous. And walk me through some use cases, perhaps, as to how the Abrao Group has leveraged cutting-edge technologies, be it machine learning, artificial intelligence, big data, or blockchain, for that matter, to improve logistics outcomes.
In our industry, it's very important to ensure that we have got the right containers at the right place at the right time.
Right.
Frequently, we face situations where containers are at one place, whereas the customer is at another place. Or he wants it in the month of April and May is peak demand because
Right.
he's got grapes to export, for example.
Right.
But then we've got the peak containers in Jan and Feb.
Sure.
So using AI and machine learning, we've been looking at analyzing the data of the past years to see what are the trends of customers, and then use that to help us in planning the availability of containers at the right place at the right time. You can move the containers, but it comes at a cost. You burn diesel and fuel to ship the customers from the containers from one location to another location. And so that's what we want to avoid by making sure that we are ready rather than waiting for our customers.
Fair enough. And I'm curious as to your view here, Clarence. When you look at the domestic shipping and logistics
Yes.
industry, how do you believe we compare with our global counterparts, in terms of technology prowess, standard of skill, quality control, and research and development efforts?
Sure. Not for nothing are we one of the software powerhouses of the world. And this is one area that we are leveraging. We are as good, if not better, than any other country when it comes to the capability. We now know the business, which is an inherent requirement if you want to develop any software product.
Right.
Right? So we have a tremendous skill base of talented people with the necessary technical knowledge, the necessary domain expertise
Right.
to be able to build the required products.
And Clarence, what are the technologies out there that you're most excited about, that that keep you up at night? And essentially, how do you even go about tracking them, following all the ever-evolving statutory requirements and compliance matters, and likewise, evolving industry needs?
Sure. So, you can't be an organization independent of anyone or everyone.
Right.
We are part of various trade organizations, the Container Shipping Lines Association,
Sure.
Maritime Association of Shipping Agencies here in India, Association of Multimodal Transport Operators of India.
Right.
So these trade organizations interact with the industry, customers, government authorities such as customs, terminals, ports. So through this bodies, we get to know of various rules, regulations that are published, right? When it comes to technology, we take part in various events held by software companies that showcase their latest technologies.
Sure.
So we get to know what are the technologies that we have at our disposal, which we can leverage. But there is nothing like meeting the customer.
Of course.
Right? So when you speak and listen to the customer, they always give us a different perspective of how they feel technology can be leveraged, how some of the rules and regulations are impacting them, and how we could help them out.
Clarence, thank you for sharing that, and thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us. We wish you all the very best for what lies ahead.
Thank you so much, Pooja. Thank you.
After an insightful conversation with Clarence Xavier, we had the privilege of catching up with Managing Director Lenny Abrao to delve into the rich legacy of the company and explore how its foundation continues to guide its future growth.
So when you think of the next decade in logistics and its various stakeholders, what's ultimately the legacy that you'd like for the Abrao Group to leave behind?
So I'll talk about our vision,
Please.
which is got 5 key words:
Sure.
innovation, agility, technology, customers, and global. That's the legacy that we want to leave, wherein we are known for being technology driven, constantly innovating,
Right.
using our agility to respond to disruptions, changing customer needs, and being present globally, and also having a network of services which we can provide globally. This is what we will always keep doing. So it would not just be a legacy, but it's something that we would continuously do. And we are confident that where we are today, both in terms of the geography, which is India, there is ample opportunities to both realize this and also to be an integral part of India's growth story. In terms of what we would like for policymakers to take care of, I think one of the key things is to be very focused on exports and to give or do whatever is necessary to achieve our stated aim of $1 trillion of exports. I think this will take care of most of our pressing needs, whether it's in terms of employment, in terms of building up a manufacturing capability,
Right.
and being a real alternative to China. This is also the dream for us as Abrao Group. We are proud in whatever way, if we can contribute to realizing that dream. That is clearly what we would like to have as a legacy.
Well, sir, all our very best wishes are with you.
Thank you.
The Abrao Group team consists of a slew of specialists and strategy experts, all collectively working towards improving logistics outcomes. And we spoke to them ourselves for a first-hand take on the Abrao Group experience.
Triton Logistics and Maritime, as a part of the Abrao Group, provides a seamless global logistics solutions to our customers. The global logistics is full of challenges. It has always been and will always be, and all these challenges are very unique and unpredictable. This is further complicated by a lot of geographical and geopolitical disruption which is happening. We are committed to provide comprehensive end-to-end global logistics solutions to our customer through a team which is dedicated and experts in their field, who have a knack for problem solving and creating delight for our customers through ownership, foresight, and continuous innovations.
My journey at Abrao has been one great roller coaster ride. While it is thrilling and amazing, it is also chilling at the same time. So what I mean is, while it gives you that adrenaline rush, it also gives you butterflies in your tummy. So I feel like this journey should always continue, and the cycle of various experiences should keep continuing. That is my way of describing my journey at Abrao.
Abrao Group continues to evolve as a capability-led organization, leveraging cutting-edge technology to enhance and integrate logistics on a global scale. As a champion of purpose-driven innovation, the company is poised to shape the future of the supply chain.
We have been very fortunate to have the legacy of 87 years in the industry. And therefore, it is with pride that we look back at the achievements we have made over the years. And the success can only be attributed to one strong element. And that strong element is our people. I pride in the fact that we have some of the best people that the industry can offer. And my earnest request to the team is to use the talent, the experience, and the exposure that these people have brought to the organization to be used for your learning.
While the journey ahead is promising, history shows us that this is just the beginning of an even greater transformation.
With that, our special feature, Abrao Group presents Pioneering Future-Proof Logistics Solutions, comes to a close. I'm Pooja Jain signing off from the group's head offices in Mumbai. Thanks for tuning in.